Josh Adam Klinghoffer is an American musician best known as the current guitarist for the rock band Red Hot Chili Peppers, with whom he has recorded one studio album, I'm With You, and its subsequent B-sides compilation, I'm Beside You. Klinghoffer replaced his friend and frequent collaborator John Frusciante, in 2009, after a period of being a touring member. A multi-instrumentalist, Klinghoffer also fronts the alternative rock band Ataxia, and is a former member of the bands, Ataxia, Warpaint and The Bicycle Thief. Klinghoffer most commonly plays guitar or drums, and sings backup as well as lead vocals. He has also both recorded and toured as a session musician with Gnarls Barkley, Sparks, PJ Harvey, Beck, the Butthole Surfers, Golden Shoulders and Vincent Gallo amongst others. Klinghoffer was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame with the Red Hot Chili Peppers on April 14, 2012, becoming the Hall of Fame's youngest ever living inductee. Life and career: early career and The Bicycle Thief. Dropping out of formal education at the age of 15, Klinghoffer became involved in performing and recording music in Los Angeles at an early age. Klinghoffer describes himself at this time as the little music dork who lived around the corner, dropped out of high school, and was just playing guitar all day long. In 1997, at the age of 17, Klinghoffer joined The Bicycle Thief, the then-current project from former Thelonious Monster frontman Bob Forrest. Red Hot Chili Peppers vocalist Anthony Kiedis noted that, Bob Forrest has always had a very keen sensibility about finding extremely talented and down-to-earth people who just want to get to a kitchen and write a song. The band's subsequent studio album, You Come and Go Like a Pop Song, marked Klinghoffer's first recording experience. Regarding bandmate Forrest's notorious drug addiction, which arguably stalled Thelonious Monster's commercial success, Klinghoffer stated at this time that he pretty much had enough confidence in myself to know that I wasn't gonna be the next Bob Forrest. In 2000, The Bicycle Thief opened for Red Hot Chili Peppers, as they toured in support of their seventh studio album, Californication. John Frusciante and Ataxia, Klinghoffer and then Red Hot Chili Peppers guitarist John Frusciante began writing together in 2002, with the hopes of recording and releasing an album under a band name. This album was eventually released as a John Frusciante solo release in 2004, entitled Shadows Collide with People. Regarding this decision, Frusciante stated, during the first 6 months of 2004, Klinghoffer continued to assist Frusciante in the studio. Klinghoffer's drums, bass, vocals, keyboards, and/or guitar can be heard on the full-length albums The Will to Death, Inside of Emptiness, and more recently in 2009's The Empty Rain. 2004's A Sphere in the Heart of Silence is also credited to both musicians, and features several tracks with Klinghoffer on vocals, lead guitar, synthesizers and sequencing. He plays drums along with Frusciante and Fugazi bassist Joe Lally in Automatic Writing and AW2, under the name Ataxia. Frusciante commented on his relationship with Klinghoffer in 2004 stating, "He's simply a very talented person and has been a very close friend for the past 4 years. He's one of the very few people who I really like to spend a lot of time with. In many respects he's the person who is closest to me, and with whom I can speak honestly about everything. His opinion is very important to me and I value it a lot." In 2004, Klinghoffer also appeared on former bandmate Bob Forrest's latest studio album with Thelonious Monster, California Clam Chowder. Hacker, Klinghoffer founded his own band, Hacker, in 2008, where he holds the position of primary songwriter, singer, rhythm guitarist and pianist. In 2012, they released their first full-length album, Inhibition. The title track to Inhibition was first played in a Bob Forrest radio show. A previously unreleased track, Rewire, is also included in the digital-only 4-song Hacker EP. Hacker released the first of 2 new albums, How's Your Process, on July 1, 2014, with the second album, How's Your Process, due to be released later in 2014. The band have played at the Chapel, San Francisco in July 2014 and are due to play in Los Angeles in August 2014. they are likely to announce more dates before the release of the Red Hot Chili Peppers' new album in late 2014/15. Red Hot Chili Peppers. In 2007, Klinghoffer played with Red Hot Chili Peppers on the final few legs of their Stadium Arcadium tour, playing additional guitar, backing vocals, and keyboard parts alongside the band. This tour would ultimately be John Frusciante's last with the band, and Klinghoffer's first. On May 8, 2009, amidst confusion as to whether Frusciante still remained within Red Hot Chili Peppers, Klinghoffer, Anthony Kiedis, Flea, Chad Smith, Ron Wood and Ivan Neville performed under the name, The Insects, at a musicares in honor of Kiedis' commitment to helping those struggling with addiction and recovery. In 2009, the Red Hot Chili Peppers ended a 2-year hiatus, and were joined by Klinghoffer in the studio to begin work on their 10th album, I'm With You. At the time, unbeknownst to the public, Frusciante had already quit the band earlier that year, however had yet to announce his departure. In January 2010, Klinghoffer performed with the band for the first time as their lead guitarist at a musicares tribute event to Neil Young for a performance of Young's A Man Needs a Maid. It was later revealed he would permanently replace Frusciante as guitarist. Klinghoffer was officially named the replacement for John Frusciante in early 2010. Regarding his entry into the band, Klinghoffer notes, I've always been attracted to the idea of a tight-knit unit, a band of family, a brotherhood. Since my earliest memory, they always seemed like a band with a lot of love for each other. In May 2010, Klinghoffer along with Flea performed the United States national anthem at a Lakers home playoff game during the NBA Western Conference Finals series against the Phoenix Suns. After 11 months of writing and rehearsing, the Chili Peppers began recording their new album on September 13, 2010. According to drummer Chad Smith, Klinghoffer also sang, wrote music and played keyboards on the upcoming album. Recording for the new album was completed on March 18, 2011 and was in the process of being mixed. The album, now called I'm With You, was released on August 29, 2011. The band's first single off the new album was The Adventures of Rain Dance Maggie. In 2011, Klinghoffer wrote and performed the original score for the documentary Bob and the Monster. Klinghoffer also appears in the documentary, which is based on the life and career of musician and drug counselor Bob Forrest. Klinghoffer was said to have recorded on at least one track on former Jane's Addiction bassist Eric Avery's second solo album, however Lifetime did not include it. On July 10, 2011, Klinghoffer appeared at the 2011 School of Rock's Rock the House tour, which also featured Keith Morris and Paige Hamilton. Klinghoffer joined the School of Rock kids on stage to perform Red Hot Chili Peppers songs Danny California, and Give It Away. This was the first time he performed any of the Chili Peppers songs live since officially joining the band as their guitarist. In April 2012, Klinghoffer was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as a member of the Red Hot Chili Peppers. At 32 years of age, Klinghoffer is the youngest artist ever inducted, passing Stevie Wonder, who was 38 when he was inducted. The band's highly successful I'm With You World Tour lasted from 2011 to 2013. During the band's August 14, 2012 show, Klinghoffer was performing and broke his foot during the show. Following the performance he was placed in a walking boot. Klinghoffer would also be forced to use a chair, when needed, for some of the performances until the foot properly healed. None of the band's dates were postponed or cancelled due to Klinghoffer's injury. Klinghoffer's first world tour as a member of the band officially came to an end in April 2013. Following the tour, the band will do a small tour consisting mostly festivals in the US and some dates in South America. Klinghoffer revealed in July 2013 that the Chili Peppers likely would not start work on their 11th studio album until December or possibly even early 2014. Klinghoffer said OEIA unregistered trademark I'm really anxious to get back to work in the studio with the Chili Peppers, but just the way the year has worked out, mainly with Flea playing with them York, it do us unregistered trademark T look like we unregistered trademark LL get down to any serious work until the end of the year, like maybe December. which gives me the sneaking suspicion that we won a Euro unregistered trademark. T really get to it until the beginning of the new year. A Euro. He also discussed what it has been like replacing John Frusciante, saying a Euro. The rest of the band really did an amazing job of making me feel welcome and comfortable and including me. It was always discussed that I was an equal member, but they really made me feel like that from the get-go. Obviously the band had done this before, you know. John joined the band after not being an original member. Their Euro unregistered trademark, they had lots of different members, like Dave Navarro, and they also know that Euro unregistered trademark friends with John, spent a lot of time working with him. They were very conscious and very aware of what I might be going through taking on this role. John is one of the most amazing, beautiful, creative people Euro unregistered trademark they ever had the pleasure of witnessing work, so I can only hope to have something close to that. Euro personal life. Josh met John Frusciante while recording music for Bob Forrest's band The Bicycle Thieves album. John came in to record a solo and they began to hang out. He would visit John's house and they would listen to music. Coincidentally, it was Forrest who first auditioned for Frusciante back in 1988 before RHCP stole him from Forrest. Josh has a Western European and a Jewish background. He is related to Palestinian terrorist victim, Leon Klinghoffer. Discography: with Bob Forrest, You Come and Go Like a Pop Song as The Bicycle Thief, California Clam Chowder as Thelonious Monster, Modern Folk and Blues, Wednesday as Bob Forrest, Bob and the Monster original score as Josh Klinghoffer, with Hacker EP, Inhibition, Whatever You Want / Memory 12 single, How's Your Process? With Golden Shoulders, Let My Burden Be, Friendship Is Deep, Get Reasonable, with John Frusciante, Shadows Collide with People, The Will to Death, Automatic Writing as Ataxia, Inside of Emptiness, A Sphere in the Heart of Silence, AW2 as Ataxia, The MP Rain, with Red Hot Chili Peppers, I'm With You, Red Hot Chili Peppers Live, I'm With You, Official Bootlegs, 2011 Live EP, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame Covers EP, I'm With You Sessions, I'm Beside You, TBA, Other Appearances, Song Yet to Be Sung a Euro Perry Farrell, Blowback a Euro Tricky, The Roads Don't Love You a Euro Gemma Hayes, Dog Problems a Euro The Format, The Peel Sessions 1991 to 2004 a Euro PJ Harvey, A Love Letter to the Transformer / The Diary of Ick Explorer. 1 a Euro Tony Oswald, None Lover a Euro Spleen, The Deep Blue a Euro Charlotte Hatherley, Stainless Style a Euro Neon, The Odd Couple a Euro Gnarls Barkley, The Blue Guard a Euro Martina Topley Bird, Exquisite Corpse a Euro Warpaint, Chains a Euro Poker Haunted, The Silence of Love a Euro Headless Heroes, The Last Laugh a Euro Joker's Daughter, Bambi Lee Savage a Euro GJ and the Pimp Killers, Pop Killer a Euro Paul Oakenfold, The Danger of Light a Euro Sophie Hunger, Emma a Euro Tina Ryan, Tours, The Bicycle Thief, Vincent Gallo, Butthole Surfers, Beck, Golden Shoulders, PJ Harvey, Sparks, Gnarls Barkley, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Equipment, as per rig rundown for the 2012 I'm With You tour, guitars, 63 Fender Stratocaster a Euro Tobacco Sunburst. Uses on tracks like Higher Ground and Amid Use, 66 Fender Stratocaster Nero a Euro Black with 68 neck. Is Klinghoffer's main Strat for the show. 74 Fender Hardtail Stratocaster Gus a Euro Black. Is Klinghoffer's backup to his main Strat. Eastwood Airline 59 March P, 59 Fender Stratocaster Cern Bust, Gretsch White Penguin Pingu a Euro Californication era. X. Other Side and Californication, Gibson ES 335 a Euro C. Early 70s for Universally Speaking, Everybody Knows This Is Nowhere, Brendan's Death Song, and Dance, Dance, Dance. 67 Fender Telecaster a Euro a gift from Frusciante. Uses it on Around the World, 66 Fender Jaguar a Euro custom color, uses on tracks with low gain tremolo. Usually uses it on Wet Sand. Gibson Firebird sometimes uses it on the Encore Jam, Fender Coronado a Euro Burnt Orange. Tuned to dropped half step for Breaking the Girl. Relica 56 Fool's Tell Master a Euro JMT PMP001, Late 60s Fender banjolin prototype, Gibson SG, strings and gauges, Didgeridoo for Pingu, Didgeridoo standard 12-string sets for Firebird and Coronado, Didgeridoo for all other guitars, picks, Dunlop Tortexa Euro .60mm, amps, uses a 3-amp setup, Marshall Major, Silvertone, Fender Super 6, pedals effects, over 30 different pedals including, Boss Corporation, TU2 tuner, DS1, analog delay, DD3, vibrato, CE2X2, SG1 slow gear, RV5, DD6, CS2 compressor, electro-harmonics, Deluxe Memory Man, Deluxe Memory Man tap tempo, Cathedral, Freeze, Holy Grail, Moog Music, low-pass filter, 12-stage phaser, Line 6, FM4, DL4, Wilson, Effects Fuzz, Effects Haze, Ibanez, WH10, Marshall, Guvner, Pigtronics, Polysaturator, Last Jasp, Labs Cybertronic, Low-Tech NF Bot, Pocket Synth, Bright Onion, Looper, Framptone, 3-banger amp switcher. Klinghoffer makes use of a Bright Onion pedal switcher to bypass entire boards or individual pedals in case of problems. The whole system is run using the Shure UR4D wireless system. References. External links, Josh Klinghoffer fansite, The Bicycle Thief on MySpace, Hacker on MySpace.